Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktira Bhavati Naishtaki. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we are going to read some inspirations from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is has been translated into many languages, from Sanskrit into English language, Russian, in many Indian languages like Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, all the languages it is there translated. So Bhagavad Gita is a widely known as the jewel of India's spiritual wisdom. If India has anything to give to the world, that is Bhagavad Gita. So we will get some inspiration from Bhagavad Gita. Total chapters in Bhagavad Gita are 18, and first 6 chapters Lord Krishna speaks about Karma Yoga. Middle 6 chapters he talks about Bhakti Yoga, and last 6 chapter he talks about Jnana Yoga. So we're going to focus on the first 6 chapters today. We'll learn something from them, first 6 chapters. Second chapter, there's a very nice, this second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. And there's a very nice shloka from the second chapter, so it's on the screen. You can try to repeat after me. Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. Navani granati naro parani. Tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani. Anyani samyanti navani dehi. So Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, as a person puts on new garments, giving up the old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material body, giving up the old and useless ones. So here in this picture you can see a child when he's born. Here I'll use the pointer here so you can see it. A child continuously changes the body. When we are born, our body is small, and then it grows, and then it becomes old. And then at the time when it is no more useful, then you have to give up the body, right? So there are two things here. One is something which is temporary, and another is something which is permanent. So the temporary is the body, and the permanent is the soul. And the body is compared with the garment. Our clothes we change every day. Similarly, our body is also changing every day. You don't realize it, but it is changing. And there will be a time when we will have to give up this. Is it compulsory for everyone? Yeah, there is no option, right? There is no option to keep it forever. So now we all have to change the bodies. As in this life we change the bodies from boyhood to youth to old age, and then at the time of death we also have to change another body. And Lord Krishna is comparing it with the cloths or the garments. Now in this body is residing is the soul. This body is the city in which the soul is. This is the house in which the soul is residing. But in this body there are two souls. One is Atma and another is Paramatma, which is called as soul and the super soul. So super soul or Paramatma is watching us all the time. Sometimes we may think that who is watching me? But there is superpower within us that is called as Paramatma. So here in this picture you can see that there are two birds. One bird is here, another bird is here, right? So this bird is watching this bird. This bird is eating the fruits. Another bird is watching. Similarly, here is the Atma and here is the Paramatma. In our heart there is Paramatma. And he is constantly watching what type of karmas we are doing, what type of activities we are doing. So we get the results not only in this life but in the next life according to our karmas. So our body, this body, whatever the karmas we are doing, we are preparing for the next body. In this life we are preparing for the next life. That is the law of karma. So we have to understand this and we have to take it very seriously that in this life we have got all the facilities. But if we misuse this facility, like we have everything what we want, right? We have good air, water, food, shelter, good family. But is it guaranteed next life? Not necessarily. Somebody was asking me today in the morning that is it possible that I can get animal body in the next life? So in the evolution platform, human is the highest form of evolution, right? Topmost. And then all other species are lower. Why human is highest? Because we got more intelligence, we got more facilities, right? We have better housing, better shelter, better food, better everything better for us as compared to the animals. But if we live just like animals with this better facility, then Krishna will say, okay, if you do not want to live like a human being, then let you be animal in the next life. Right? So what is the difference between human and animals? So, yes, intelligence, absolutely correct. But in Mahabharata there is a shloka. The Mahabharata says that ahara nidra bhay maithunancha samanyeta pashubhi samanam dharma hi eka adhiko vishesho dharme vihina pashubhi samanam. So dharma is the one which separates humans from animals. Animals do not have any dharma, while humans have dharma. What is dharma? Dharma doesn't mean Hindu, Muslim, like that. Dharma actually it's translated in English as religion. But sometimes people misunderstand religion as Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, and this and that. Krishna doesn't talk about that. Because 5,000 years ago, there were no different religions. There were only one religion on the planet 5,000 years ago. What was that? That religion was to love and serve others. We have to love and help each other. That is the only religion of the humanity. And that is called as eternal religion, Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. And what is our eternal religion? We want to love each other and serve. If we hate each other, if we fight each other, if we kill each other, is that a religion? That is just like an animal. Right? So, Krishna is watching us. Krishna has given us this human form of body so that we can understand our role and responsibility. There is a verse in Brahma Sutra which is called as Athat Brahma Jignasa. What is it called? Athat Brahma Jignasa. So this is a very important verse which says that the purpose of human life is to explore and ask this question: what is my ultimate aim of this human life? Is it to make some money, make a little family, produce some children, build a house and die? Is that your aim, or there is a higher purpose which is called Brahma Jignasa? Brahma Jignasa means, oh, what is the ultimate aim I want to live in this human life? What is the ultimate thing I want to do? We all are living day-to-day life. What will I eat today, tomorrow? Animals also think about the same thing from morning, food, right? What other things animals think about? The shelter. We also think about the same. Animals also look for the partners, mating. We also think about the same. And animals also fight with each other. We also fight with each other. Maybe we can do it on a much better way or sophisticated way. Animals might eat on the street, we might eat on the plate. That's the difference. But the highest purpose of human life is to find out how can I help others? How can I make somebody's life better? Animals also think about themselves. Can we think of others? That is called as Brahma Jignasa. How can I make the life of people around me better? Instead of thinking, Prabhupada used to say that mind should always be trained to think about welfare of others. That is the purpose. So when we have a human platform, the human platform is to think about welfare of everybody around us. So Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, dear Arjuna, this body is going to get finished. But while you are in this body, what you do? You do the karmas in such a way that you can be beneficial to somebody else around you. Then, what sort of karmas should we do? So Lord Krishna then explains to Arjuna in 2nd chapter, 39 shloka. Here it says, you can try to repeat after me. Esham te abhita sankhye buddhir yoge tvaimam shrunam buddhaya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasasi. So here Lord Krishna is telling us what type of karma should we do. Here I have highlighted two words, buddhi buddhi. Buddhi yoge, buddhaya yukto. So what is buddhi means? Intelligence. So Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, I have described the knowledge to you through the analytical study that this body, soul, the body is going to finish, so you should perform the karmas. But now, listen, I'm going to tell you about how to act with your intelligence. Buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga literally means that the one who is intelligent will think that I do not suffer from any activities which I do. Is that correct? One who is intelligent will think that how can I get the maximum benefit out of this? That's the intelligent person. So this human life is an opportunity for us to think smart. And what is that? So one will think, oh, why I have to take the birth again and again? Is it compulsory? That is called as intelligence. So Lord Krishna is saying, Buddhi yogetva imam shunum. Krishna is saying, use your intelligence and ask this question, is this repeated birth compulsory? So you take the birth, grow, old age, die, go into the womb of mother, again stay there for 9 months, come out and again go through the same cycle. So the intelligent person will think, can I get out of this cycle? That is called as buddhi. So Krishna is saying, oh son of Prutha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from bondage of works. We are getting this repeated births because of this karma. Those who do bad karmas might get bad birth or get the body accordingly. But how can I get out of this cycle of birth and death, birth and death? Suppose you do good karmas, you get good results, you get good body. Is that right? If you do bad karmas, you get bad results, you get bad birth in the next life. But either good birth or bad birth, you always have to go through the sufferings in this life. Right from the highest living entity on the planet, maybe you take a president or prime minister, Hare Krishna, or to the poorest of the poor person, everybody has the problems in their life. Is that correct? The severity of problem may be different, but the problems are compulsory. So Krishna is saying that, why do you want to go through this repeated birth and face problems again and again? Can we all get out of this birth and death? Or is it compulsory to take punarapi janma, punarapi marana, punarapi janma, punarapi marana, birth and death, birth and death. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, try to be intelligent, buddhi yoga. And what is the buddhi yoga? The buddhi yoga means that whatever the activities we do it without attachment, in the full knowledge. So Lord Krishna is explaining in this second chapter of Bhagavad Gita that those who act with full detachment, without claiming the proprietorship, they are not bound by the reactions of work. Lord Krishna is saying that whatever activities we do, we should do it for the pleasure of Krishna. So Arjuna was advised to act as a Kshatriya, as a soldier on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, not because Arjuna wanted to fight, but because Krishna wanted him to act. So when you act for Krishna, you don't get any results. All the results are taken care by Krishna. This can be understood by a soldier who acts on behalf of a government and fights in the war. Even though the soldier might commit any violence in the war, the soldier is not punished because he is acting on behalf of a government. But the same soldier, if he whimsically kills somebody on the street, he is punished. Because the difference is, one is acting under authority, second is acting by himself. Similarly, whatever the karmas, maybe you are a student, maybe you are a teacher, maybe you are a doctor, maybe you are an engineer. If you act independently for yourself, then you are responsible for the results. But the same karma, if I do it for Krishna, then I am free from all the attachments. So Lord Krishna is saying that if we act with the intelligence and act for Krishna, then we'll get liberation from the bondage of results of the work. We all, whether you do good work or bad work, there is a result associated with it. And then with the result, you have to take birth again. Punarapi janma, punarapi marna. So we have to act for the owner of everything. So Krishna is the is the proprietor of everything. We did not manufacture anything by ourselves. Everything is given to us a gift by God, Krishna, right? Can you manufacture sun? We cannot manufacture sun. Sun is given to us by God, Krishna. Can we manufacture water in the laboratory? Somebody might say, yes, 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen, and I put together. But can you manufacture a molecule of hydrogen? That you have to borrow from Krishna. So air is given to us by Krishna, water is given to us by Krishna, food is given to us by Krishna, sun is given to us by Krishna, this body is given to us by Krishna. Everything belongs to Him, and still if we do not work for Him, then that is a crime. So here Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that, hey Arjuna, karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal heturbhur ma te sangostava karmani. So Lord Krishna is saying to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, you do not have right over the results because it does not belong to you. If you are working in a factory or a mill or wherever you are working, you are not the owner of that company. So all the profits belong to the owner. You just are eligible for the salary. Is that right? Unless you are the owner of the factory. That's another thing. Who is the owner of everything? Krishna. Krishna is the owner. We are not the owner of everything. So who is the enjoyer of everything? Krishna is the enjoyer. So when we are working, we work for the pleasure of Krishna. So Krishna is saying, you have the right to perform, but you are not the enjoyer. But then do not think that if I am not the enjoyer, so I am not going to work. That will also be a crime. You're getting the salary, but you're not working. That's not good. So Krishna is supplying you all the necessities. What you have to do? Act for Krishna. So here Krishna is saying that you have only one choice. And what is the choice you have? work for Krishna. Nothing else. You don't have any other choice in the life. That is the only right you have. Further, Krishna says, Dukkeshva nudvegamana sukheshva vikatasvara vitaraga bhaya krodha sthitadhir muni uchyate. Now one who acts in this Krishna consciousness, which means that one who acts for Krishna, what are the changes in his life? One thing is you could take two people, one person working for himself and another person working for Krishna. What are the differences in their lives? So that is what Krishna is telling. So if you act for Krishna, what will happen in your life? What are the changes? So yes, Lord Krishna is saying, one who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and one who is free from attachment, fear and anger is called as the sage of steady mind, which means that when you act in Krishna consciousness, when you act for Krishna, what will happen in your life? So first thing is that your mind will be steady. Sthita dhira muni uchyate. So when we act for Krishna, our mind becomes peaceful, steady. And why is that so? Because we know that Krishna is the owner of everything. We are not the owner. Anxiety is for the owner, right? When you are working for a company, whether the owner is making profit or loss, it's not your business. What is your business? You do your work 100%, and that's it, right? Similarly, when a devotee acts in Krishna consciousness, he knows that Vasudevam Sarvamiti, Krishna is the owner of everything. I do not have to worry about profit or loss. People are worried all the time. What will I get? When will I get? How will I get? But when we are in Krishna consciousness, we are not worried about loss or gain. Because if it is loss, it is Krishna's loss. If it is gain, it is Krishna's gain. We are here to give our best for the service of Krishna. So, we do not have dukkha and sukha. Dukkha means sadness. Most of the people are unhappy nowadays because they don't get what they want, probably, most of the time. And sometimes people they become very happy. But then, when one is Krishna consciousness, he is very stable. He doesn't jump when he gets something. He doesn't get depressed when he doesn't get anything. Why? Because everything belongs to Krishna. So, Sthita Dhira Muni Uchyate. Muni means a sage. Sage means one who is completely Krishna conscious. Sage doesn't mean one who is wearing a saffron dress. Sage means one who is completely dependent on Krishna's mercy. If you really want to make your life easy, take shelter. You understand shelter? Like children take the shelter of their parents, right? So little child has the shelter of their father and mother. So child does not have to worry. Why? Because it's responsibility of the parents. Similarly, we do our work, but we take a shelter. And who is the shelter? Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate. Hey Krishna, you are the master of everything. I don't have to worry. You are there. Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. If Krishna wants to protect you, nobody can touch you. This is my experience, long time. And I've seen it in lives of everybody around me who are completely dependent on Krishna. Krishna takes care. No worries at all. I promise you, You will never have a shortage of food. You'll never have a shortage of money in your life. You'll have never shortage of anything in your life if you are completely shelter of Krishna. This is 100% guaranteed. I give you in writing. Because Krishna promised in Bhagavad Gita, Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. He says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. He has promised many places that I'll take care of my devotees. And he has taken care of everybody. So, when you are in Krishna consciousness, your mind is peaceful, stable. Why? Because you know that you are giving your best. If it is good for me, Krishna will give you. If it is bad for you, Krishna will not give you. Sometimes a child wants something which is harmful for the child. So what do the parent do? Parent will not give it to the child. Similarly, you may want something, but Krishna will think, oh, this is not good for his bhakti, then he will not give you at all. So the devotees of Krishna are steady-minded. That is the benefit of Krishna consciousness. Devotees, when you are in Krishna consciousness, then their view about good times and bad times is different. Usually when bad times comes, what happens? People blame either to others, sometimes to themselves, and most of the time to the God. They'll say, oh Krishna, I came to your temples on Sunday. I was sitting there reading your Bhagavad Gita class. I chanted your name. Still this is happening with me. How is that? But the devotee have different view. What is the devotee's view? The devotees accept miseries as a mercy and a minimization of suffering due to past deeds. So when the bad times comes, devotee will think, oh, this is a mercy of Krishna. Why the bad times are mercy? Because all your past bad karmas are being burnt. So now this is a mercy of Krishna. And when there is a bad time, people come to God. Is that right? And also in the bad times, Krishna will come personally to protect his devotees. भगवान अपने भक्तों का पर्सनली ध्यान रखते हैं. When Pandavas in bad times, Krishna was constantly with Pandavas. And when Yudhishthir was coronated as the king, Maharaj Yudhishthir, then Krishna says, now I'm going back to Dwarka. So Mata Kunti run to Krishna and says, oh Krishna, why are you leaving us? It was good that bad times, you were there always with us. You always saved us. And now when there's a good time, you are leaving us. It's better to have a bad time because Krishna will personally be there carrying the devotees all the way. So when you have taken a shelter of Krishna, then Krishna will lift you. Krishna will lift you. There's a nice story. A man who was completely devoted to Lord Krishna. And Krishna was always there with him. So whenever he went, Krishna was there. So he was walking by the beach. He used to see the two sets of footsteps. One his own footsteps, other was Krishna's footsteps. So 4 steps. Because he was completely devoted to Krishna. One time, he had a very bad time in his life. He was suffering. And he was watching by the beach, and he saw that one footstep disappeared. So he complained to Krishna, Krishna, when it was good times, you were always there with me. I always saw 2 pairs of footsteps. And when my bad times came, I only saw 1 pair of footsteps. Other one, yours disappeared. So Krishna said, you are mistaken, boy. Because in the bad times, I lifted you. So what are the footsteps you saw were my footsteps. I personally lifted you and walking you with. Otherwise, you would have collapsed. Right? So Krishna personally looks after his devotee, and this has been proven n number of times. Prahlad Maharaj was protected by Krishna. Draupadi was protected by Krishna. Abhimanyu was protected. Parikshit was protected. Everybody was protected by Krishna. And even Srila Prabhupada, our guru, you see the portrait behind. Prabhupada came to America just with 40 rupees, $8 at that time in his pocket. And he got 2 massive heart attacks. And he was always protected by Krishna. Shri Nitai, Shri Sitaram, Lakshman, Shri Radha, Virgat, Shri Jagannath, Baladev, Subhamata, Shri Giriraj, Srila Prabhupada, Nitai. So Prabhupada ji built 108 temples, 108 centers across the globe. The man who is old age, who got 2 massive heart attacks, who came from India to America on a boat, Jaladuta. He knew no one in America. And then in next 10 years, Prabhupada established more than 100 centers across the globe. How many? More than 10,000 disciples. Published thousands of books. Hare Krishna. So what is the message here? What is the message here?
Krishna conscious.
What is the message? What did you say, Prabhu?
Everything we do it with Krishna.
We do Krishna conscious. Why?
Nothing belongs to us.
Because nothing belongs to us, and when we do for Krishna, Krishna will take care of us. We don't have to worry about anything. Right? When a devotee's life, when you are a Krishna conscious, if good things happens in your life, what do? You give credits. You don't take credit. All the good things are happening because of Krishna. Because Krishna, Rakhe Krishna, Mare Kain, Mare Krishna, Rakhe Kain. Hey Krishna, you are there, so I am surviving. Otherwise, how can I survive? Not a single second. Right? So whatever happening in our life, whether good or bad, doesn't matter, because Krishna is there to take care of us. When you act in Krishna consciousness, you have equanimity, which means that whether success or failure, in the success you are not jumping too high, in the failure you are not demoralized, because you know that Krishna is going to help you out. The attitude makes them immune to anger and frustration. When we work in Krishna consciousness, we know that I should not get frustrated because Krishna has some higher plan for me. Is that right? When you fail, which means that Krishna has something better for you. And when you get something, then you thank Krishna that, okay, Krishna, thank you so much for giving. So this gives you a equanimity, equilibrium in your mind, also in your life also. Further, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Yada samharate chayam kurmo anignava sarvasha indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratishtita. One who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense objects, as the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So, When we act in Krishna consciousness, when our life is fully dependent on Krishna, we develop a self-control. What is self-control means? That we do not use the organs or the indriyas when they are not required. The example here is given by Lord Krishna as a turtle. In the shloka, Lord Krishna uses the example. He says, Kurmo anignava sarvashaha. As the tortoise draws his limb within the shell. Right? So when we are in Krishna consciousness, we are self-controlled, which means that we can control our senses just like a tortoise draws its limb within the shell. Tortoise, when they are they don't want to use their limbs, they put it under the shell. Senses are in English, in Sanskrit, they are called Vishaya. Hare Krishna. Vishaya means, Vish means poison actually. So when you do too much sense enjoyment, it becomes the cause of our suffering. This is known fact. Those eat too much, they get problems. What are the problems? They get diabetes, hypertension, obesity. Is that right? The senses are very powerful. They are compared with the snakes, poisonous snakes. So we have to control them. If you keep the poisonous snake loose, then they will poison you. So the devotees of Lord, they control their senses. So how do they control their senses? So they use the sense only when it is required for service of Krishna. Otherwise they don't use it. Nowadays the biggest problem at this time is the social media. And people are watching the videos all the time. It's misuse of the sense, eyes and ears, because that is causing most of the troubles in our life. So people have these mental disorders, deranged disorders. All this is because of the social structure at this time. So our senses are very powerful. Our tongue has to be used very properly. How do you use the tongue most of the time? Eating or talking nonsense. Right? Most of the time people eat from the restaurants here, there, and most of the time the food is not healthy also. And sometimes people eat more than what is required also. And then talking unnecessarily, causing problems in the life. We should use the tongue to eat Krishna Prasad, the food which is offered to Krishna, and use the tongue only to talk about Krishna, nothing else. If you cannot talk about like Krishna or something beneficial to others, better not to talk. So here Krishna is saying that one who is in Krishna consciousness, he will be able to control the senses. Artificially, if you try to control your senses, it is not possible. I guarantee you, 100%. There was a great sage, his name was Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra Rishi is a great tapasvi. He did tapasya for 10,000 years. How many years? That was Treta Yuga. But then one beautiful girl, Menka, came and Vishwamitra got disturbed. But recently, 500 years back, Haridas Thakur, who was born in a Muslim family, constantly chanting Krishna Nama for how many times? 300,000 times every day, continuously using the tongue only to chant Krishna Nama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Haridas Thakur used to chant every day 20 to 22 hours. He didn't do anything else. 2 hours just for eating and sleeping and whatever the daily requirement. Otherwise, 22 hours chanting. So all the Brahmins, smart Brahmins of the Mayapur, they become jealous. How come this low born is chanting Krishna Nama and everybody is respecting him? So they sent a prostitute to disturb Haridas Thakur. So prostitute comes and says to Haridas, I want to talk to you. Haridas said, have a seat. I will talk to you only after I complete my 22 hours of chanting. So she sits there for 6 hours, 8 hours. Haridas is constantly chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So first day she sat there for 6 hours. She's tired, she goes. Comes next day, the same, Haridas is chanting Krishna Nama. Third day, she sits there and she thinks, oh my God, it's hard to even talk to this person. Fourth day, she commits herself, surrenders herself to Haridas Thakur. And she becomes the devotee, disciple of Haridas Thakur. So here we can see that one Vishwamitra did tapasya for 10,000, got disturbed by little disturbance. But another way, another example, if you engage your senses in Krishna consciousness, it's hard to get disturbed. So use the eyes to see Krishna, use the ears to hear about Krishna, use the tongue to talk about Krishna, use the hands to serve Krishna or Krishna's devotee, use the legs to come to the temple. Is that right? So this is the use of the body. That is how you can control these poisonous snakes. Otherwise, these snakes are very loose. They will cause problems in our life. So, Krishna is saying that, hey Arjuna, if you use the senses in Krishna consciousness, just like turtle is able to withdraw the limbs, then you will be living peaceful life. Otherwise, this poison will destroy you. Further, Krishna is saying, Apuryamana machala pratishtha samudram apaha pravishyanti yadvad tadvad kamayam pravishyanti sarve sashanti vapnoti na kama kami. Lord Krishna is saying, a person who is not disturbed by incessant flow of desires that enters like rivers in the ocean can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy the desires. So here another outcome of Krishna consciousness is that a Krishna conscious person remains composed and peaceful despite so many desires. Desires are unlimited desires. But the devotee of Lord will think that if this desire helps me to go near to Krishna, I will follow that desire. Otherwise, not. Our mind is full of desires. Everybody wants this and that and that and that. And the whole world is chasing for desires. Until death, everybody has a desire. So then this desires makes us unstable. But a devotee's mind is just like an ocean. In the ocean, no matter how many rivers enter, ocean doesn't overflow. Similarly, a devotee who is in fully Krishna conscious, he will think that if this desire is helping me to serve Krishna, I will entertain it. Otherwise, right? So one has a desire to build a 5-story house, 10-story house. What will happen? A bigger house means bigger problem. Is that right? Yes or no?
Yes.
A big material desire means big material problem. A big car, somebody wants a big luxury car. Okay, pay the price. Big problem. But you convert that into material, into spiritual. A big house, convert into a big temple. See, you want to have a big temple of Krishna. It's big, a big desire, but that is for, now which is better? A bigger one. Again, you have to be logical, make sure the economics is working for you. But everything, all the desires, when they are transformed into spiritual desires, then the life will be peaceful. I want to eat more is a desire. How do you convert into spiritual desire? I want to serve more. Right? So, Krishnam Trupte, Jagat Tripta. So if you satisfy Krishna, everybody will be satisfied. If you pour water on the root of the tree, every branch, every leaf will get water. But if you try to put the water on each leaf, the tree will die. Understand? Similarly, a devotee of Lord has only one desire. What is the desire? I want to serve Krishna. Nothing else. So here, Krishna is saying that devotees of Lord engage in loving service of the Lord, and they have no material aspirations, even for liberation. Sometimes people want mukti, moksha. But a devotee will say, even I have to take birth again, doesn't matter. But I should be able to serve Krishna. That is the ultimate aim. You get it? I do not want birth in the higher rich family, but I want a birth in a family where I can serve Krishna, when I can remember Krishna. Right? Just like ocean remains steady and undisturbed, even though it continuously filled with water. Generally, in the material world, people are working very hard. They work day and night. Some people do 2 shifts. I've seen people doing 3 shifts also. I've seen it literally in Thunder Bay. I asked that boy, when do you sleep? He said, I sleep on the work. I said, how is that possible? So he does 1 shift as a security and 2 shifts as something else. But people do that type of thing. In material, people have to work very hard. It's not easy to fulfill material desires. It's very hard work. Hare Krishna. But everybody is working hard for. Everybody is working hard for. If I ask you, why are you working hard? You're working hard for. Somebody say, I'm working hard for my family, my children. Most of the people say like that, right? I'm paying bills, I'm paying. Everybody works hard for either themselves or the family. But all this hard work brings more problems, right, in your life. No matter how hard you try to satisfy your family members, somebody will complain. There's no point in working hard, labor work actually. People work very hard, labor work to satisfy the family members. It is just like pouring the water on the leaves. You want to make each leaf happy. It's not going to work. The tree is going to die. But if you work hard to satisfy Krishna, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, everybody will be happy. You get the point? Because Krishna is the root of everything. The family members, no matter whatever you do for whole life, they will complain. We have spent so many lives to serve family. In previous life also, I was serving my family. In previous life also, I had a wife and a children. In this life also, I have the same. And the next life also, I will have the same. Why not this life for Krishna? One life for Krishna. And see what happens. We have given so many lives to serve family, society, nation. Nothing happened. So why not this life for Krishna? So the focus of Krishna consciousness is diverting all the desires for service of Krishna. That's the only desire, nothing else. A devotee has no other desire. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam, va jagadisha, kamaye mama janmani janmanishware, bhavta bhakti rahetuki prayani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I have no desire to make good wealth, name, fame, power, prestige. I have no desires. Why? Because all these are useless. Only desire I have is I want to serve Krishna in this life. So, this second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna that all our efforts, whatever the karma we are doing, should be directed towards the pleasure of Krishna. Then you do not get, it's called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi means intelligence. Use the intelligence and think, why do I have to take birth again? Can I stop this cycle? How can I get out of the bondage? Like that. So that is called Buddhi Yoga. With that, we'll pause here. Anybody has questions? I know somebody has a question online. Let's see, any of our friends have a question? Here, there's our friend, his initials are HJ, is asking us a question. How do I serve Krishna? He is not personally available. Wonderful question. Thank you. Now, I don't know your full name here, HJ, but you have a good question. So, Krishna, this person is asking a question. How can we serve Krishna when I don't see Krishna? How can you serve Krishna when you don't see Krishna? So, the answer is very easy, right? Serve Krishna's devotees. So, Krishna is there in everybody of you, right? There's Krishna in your heart, and Krishna in your heart, Krishna in your heart. So, you can serve devotees and you can serve Krishna. And another way to serve Krishna is by chanting Krishna's Nama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because Krishna and his name are non-different. Krishna and his name are non-different. So then, there are 9 ways you can serve Krishna. It's called Navada Bhakti. So first is to hear about Krishna. To read Bhagavad Gita, to hear Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Second is to talk about Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Archanam, Parisevanam. Archanam means If you have a little temple at home, Krishna's temple, how many of you have a temple at home? So you can have Krishna there in the temple and do arti, puja, ceremony, offer bhoga to Krishna, right? You can offer bhoga. Bhoga means not prasad. Bhoga means the food which is without meat, fish, eggs, onion, garlic. Do not taste it, offer it to Krishna, and then it becomes prasad. You don't offer prasad to Krishna, you offer bhoga to Krishna. And when Krishna takes it, that bhoga becomes prasad. You understand this? The food which is taken by Krishna is called prasad. The food which is offered to Krishna is called bhoga. That's the difference. And then the next thing you can do is serve the devotees of Krishna. So if you can help somebody who needs help, who is in need, like, so help that person in the sentiment that he is part and parcel of Krishna, and Krishna in your heart is allowing you to do that. You understand? So that becomes Krishna consciousness. So in this way, you can serve Krishna in multiple ways. The best way among them is easiest way, and the most cost-effective way is, what is the most cost-effective way? Chant Krishna name. You don't have to spend any money. Nama Smaran. Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I know Prabhuji has more questions. HJ, I'll give you my phone number. Please call me because we are getting late for the Aarti ceremony. But I'm typing my phone number here. So please feel free to call me. Okay. He has a question, but I'm going to answer your question when you call me. Is that okay? Thank you so much. Because 7:32 and we have to do Aarti and give prasad to everybody. But I'll definitely answer your questions. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. आइए हम आरती करते हैं. Request everybody to come forward.